Oh, Damien Chazelle, why do you start with a movie so amazing as Whiplash? I mean, there's no possible way you could do anything better than that, right?
You're fired.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, I see the decorations. Good luck in the new year.
La La Land is the latest story written and directed by up-and-coming director Damien Chazelle, who is no longer up-and-coming, he's here. It stars Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling as a couple of Los Angeles residents pursuing their dreams and possibly each other. It is a full-on, old-school musical. Is that something we're looking forward to? Well, here's 5 things you might want to know about La La Land. Oh, here we go. I'm about to gush over a movie. I really loved this one. Let's start with the singing and dancing elephant in the room. Musicals. If you like them, you're going to like this. If you don't like them, you're not probably going to like this. Although, it may be good enough to break through for you. Let me just say this. I think the musical aspect of this is perfect. The songs are great. They're sung very well. The choreography is wonderful. It feels like it could have been produced when musicals were at their heyday. And I love it. The bright colors. It's just fun. It's interesting. I will give one minor caveat here in that, what was it, Les Mis, where they actually sang the songs on set. After seeing that, it's kind of ruined me for lip-synced musicals, and there is a little of that lip-syncing here that feels a little produced and off, but you kind of just give into it, and that's probably the only negative thing I'll say about this movie. If you don't like musicals, just think of it as like their superpower. Like they can just break out into song, like a superhero can, throw their shield or sling a web. That's just their superpower. Then I think maybe you can give into it a little bit. Speaking of amazing singing, the next thing I want to gush about is Emma Stone. Oh my goodness, she's good in this. Yes, she can sing, and she sings her songs well, but it's her performance beyond that that really drew me in. There are 2 separate audition scenes in this movie, and if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give a lot away. And they're very different in the way they're played, but her performance in each of them is phenomenal. In fact, there are actually 3. There's one in between them that I don't mean to make light of because it's important in the story as well. Whenever Emma Stone is auditioning in this movie for a role, pay attention because it's amazing stuff and she's incredible. But she's not the only one doing great work here. Gosling is greatest too. I've always loved him. I love his sense of humor. I love his smirk, and he's perfect here. But beyond that, let's focus on this. The 2 of them together are wonderful. The chemistry is great. You can feel like you buy into this relationship from its beginning to its middle to where it goes. All of that is really interesting to me because of how well these 2 work together. And that's so central to a movie like this working, that romance. Because if 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it's going to be off-putting and you're not going to enjoy it as much. Oh, I have so much to talk about with this movie. I just want to sit down and watch it with you so we can talk about it afterwards. Let me bring this up. I think Damien Chazelle is an incredible writer. The dialogue is great, but even more than that, the story here is phenomenal. Somehow this movie feels both classically romantic, kind of swoons like that, and also modernly authentic in its romance too. Somehow he manages to combine those 2 in a really interesting way, and I think that's skill in writing the story, and the story holds up all the way through. So much to talk about, and only 1 number left. There's one thing I haven't mentioned that I have to, so we'll finish with this. The movie is shot incredibly. I love the choreography in this thing, and I don't just mean the dancing. In fact, I mean specifically the way the cameras are used in these glorious one-shot takes that move throughout these musical numbers. Everything you need to know about this movie is in the first opening scene. If you get to the end of that opening scene and you're not enjoying yourself, you're not going to like this movie. As for me, I was having a blast, and I think a lot of that has to do with the amazing way the camera is used. Overall, I loved La La Land. It was so close to perfect for me. Beautiful music, beautiful performances, just a few very minor issues keep it from being an A+. I give it a solid A. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the Best Ever Challenge here in a bit, but first, I would love to connect with you more. If you want to hang out on YouTube, you can subscribe, watch other videos, click the link right up here if you want to do that. If you want to connect with me on social media, Twitter's probably the best place for pop culture stuff. My name's Aaron Dicer, AARONDICER. If you want to connect on other social media, that's my name there as well. It's kind of my name everywhere. And then finally, the podcast. If you do podcasts, you can subscribe to SiftPop, SiftPop. We do it every week. Have a great time talking about pop culture. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category and try to guess my choice. This week, we're going to just be doing musicals. Let's go broad. What is the best ever musical? If you know anything about my favorite movies of all time, you know my number one movie of all time is a musical, so that's my favorite. My hint would be that there's a song where an Old Testament hero decides his feet may be covered in flowers. Take a guess at mine in the comments. Leave your choice there as well. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just click the logo right down in this corner.